let's get started.
Hey guys, until somebody picks me up to sponsor me like a VPN or whatever, this video is sponsored by me. That's my merchandise, bunch of stuff, whatever. Links in the description down below. Enjoy the video.
All right, so now we're gonna get started. Got my shot of whiskey in, so now we're good. I'll go ahead and do my nails while I'm talking to you. Had a few things that I wanted to do, but I'm just gonna do my nails because they need to get done, right? Anyways, but I'll not record the part where oh, for the love of fuck. Let's get started. Okay, so I didn't like the Grishaverse. Or no. So I didn't like the Shadow Bone Trilogy, okay? But I had seen that Cindy also hadn't liked it, right? But she like really loved Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. And so I was like, well, you know, I've seen the videos that she puts out. I've seen the stuff that she reads, the way that she sees things and all that kind of stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot, right? Now, to be clear, I didn't read them. I just glued this nail on crooked. God damn it. We'll pretend it's not crooked. I didn't read them. I did the audio version. And, okay, so I feel like I should say that with the audio version, I'm probably missing something. But also, in my defense, I've got like 20 years on these characters, so it didn't wreck me, the series, the two books. The story did not wreck me. I do not feel wrecked. What I do feel, though, is that was good. They were so good. So I finished Crooked Kingdom last night, and yeah, I cried. But you know what? I didn't cry as much as I guess, you know, Cindy did, because I ended up watching her Crooked Kingdom video. I'll link that below just so you can see what I'm talking about. Anyways, and I made myself not watch it until I was done with it because I didn't want to have any spoilers, which is so weird because with movies I want spoilers. I am a person that craves spoilers. Especially like when the Marvel movies came out and my kids went and saw them, I was like, please tell me what happens. Because first of all, I'm not going to the movie theaters. I mean, even pre-COVID, I'm not going to the movie theaters. I hate the movie theaters. But, you know, my kids like to go. So I was like, okay, you know, so tell me what happens. They're like, no, we can't do that. Like, no, I'm like, no, you don't understand. When it comes to a movie, I pay attention better with spoilers, okay? But for some reason, when it comes to books, like, I don't want spoilers, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gluing these all on crooked. You know, I probably should have been a little bit more focused on this. Anyways, so yeah, so I didn't watch the video, so I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no idea other than it was just like a band of thieves going to do some job, right? Obviously for Six of Crows. Okay, let me talk about Six of Crows for a second. I don't know if I'll include the footage or not. I tried to kind of do like a daily vlog and be like, hey, this is how I feel right now about this. But I think I only recorded like 3 times, so... Anyways, as I was listening to it, so my first impressions, yeah, we're just going to skip the vlog because it was like maybe 3 times and only like a minute or 2 each. My first impressions, right off the bat, was, damn, is this like literally how people think? Is this how most people are, where automatically they go straight to like rage, jealousy? Like, I don't get it. I'm not understanding, because whatever the hell the guy's name was in the very first chapter, when the Grisha girl, they're like, wow, I'm trying to remember now. So one of the Grisha guys disappears, and then the girl disappears, and the guy who has a crush on her, like, they're not even together, they're not a couple, they're not a thing. He's like first thing he thinks is like, oh damn, did she really disappear? Like, did our master really make her disappear? Or like, is she off with somebody? So right off the bat, within like the first few minutes, I'm like, oh God, here we fucking go. here we go, right? And then when we go a little bit deeper into it, then when Inej is listening to Kaz talk to Per Haskell about the job that's coming up, um, she's up in the rafters. It doesn't even occur to her that she might be going with him. He's like, dude, this is a big ass job, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to leave such and such in charge while I'm gone. Now, she has been his right hand man from like the jump, right? And so wouldn't it make sense that if he was going on some big ass job that she would go with him? Like, why did her brain have to automatically go there? I just feel like that's a thing that the writer does, because that was so prevalent in the whole Alina and Mal fucking thing, okay? Ugh. It was just like, oh my god, really? That must be something else. There must be something else going on, because it certainly couldn't be this more logical explanation, but okay, whatever. Maybe I'm just old and I don't fucking remember being a kid, but um maybe that could be. I don't know. Whatever. So anyway, so listening to Six of Crows, and I'm like, okay, the narration is way better. And even though the same actress that did Alina did I'm thinking Inej, I don't think she did Nina. Maybe she did Nina also, but so the same actress who voiced Alina that whole story, she was in it too, but her acting was way better. Way better. Oh my god, I glued it to my fucking finger. Anyways, way better. I loved it. The accents were not ridiculous. And the story plotline was great. Was just great. Just perfect, okay? But I remember telling my husband when I had literally like 10 minutes left of listening to the book. And I looked at him and I said, it's really good. Like, it's really good, but it's almost like too good. Because they literally just broke out of they literally just stole they broke in and they stole a prisoner from Fort Knox in the middle of Siberia, surrounded by a moat that's been designed and protected by like magical powers. And nobody died and nothing bad happened. Nothing bad happened. The whole fucking story, nothing bad happened. I'm like, okay, Gianna, stop. I'm like, okay, whatever, maybe that's the thing. We're supposed to all have happy endings. That's great, cool, whatever. But then Inej gets kidnapped, and I'm like, okay, cool. Obviously, this is how they're gonna have Gianna. Okay, so I've got them filed down to where I guess they're gonna be. That's just where they're gonna be. And I picked out a shamrock green color because tomorrow is St. Patty's Day. And also, I just want to say that I love Sally Hansen, the design of their brushes. I just do. Every single bottle that I have of them, they are very long as opposed to the other. Let me just, here. So like, okay, so that one's what, a LA Colors one, right? Okay, and this is like your standard size for a nail polish, right? And I just want to say, like, look at the size of this brush versus the size of the Sally Hansen ones. Now, I have really fat fingers. I know this has nothing to do with the Grishaverse, but hey. But this makes a difference for me, okay? This is huge. This, and not only that, but there's like a slender difference between the brushes. I don't know how well it's going to focus, but there's a huge difference, and I'm just here for that. It makes it so my nails aren't ridiculously shitty when I'm done. But anyways, I digress. So before I stopped so I can file my nails, I think I was talking about how they ended Six of Crows, and that I just felt that was a really good, solid story. Like I said, it was like everything was so good, and I personally love Kaz to an extent. It's probably what I would have been if I was born male. But because I was born female and I wanted to have kids young, Like I always told my kids that if I had been born a male, my life would have been completely different. Okay. I would have been Kaz, absolutely. That being one step ahead of people who are supposed to be like better than you and all this other kinds of shit, you know? Yeah, like I identify with that. That was me up until like the end of 2016. That, I mean, my family, my friends, they basically like called me God. Because I was the fixer. I was the person who could outplan, outmanipulate, outsmart the whole bit. Do I still have it? I don't know. That's a story for another day, children. Anyways, just in case you wanted to know, Kaz. And then after Kaz, it would be Nina, because I was a total whore. And not saying that Nina's a whore, but just her ability to just like flirt with everybody, boys and girls, it doesn't matter, and just use her charm. Like, I'm a Libra, come on, like, may not be so charming now, but that's because I'm 40 and fat and dead inside, but hey, used to be. Anyways, one other thing before I move on to Crooked Kingdom, Jasper and Wylan, like, it was so much better. It's so much better than the whole Nadia Tamar thing. Like, there was no inclination that Nadia was even remotely gay. Yeah, she was the third wheel of her friend's little, you know, she was like the third member, where the two other people in her little trio were like, they were together. But there was nothing indicating that Nadia was even remotely gay. And Tamar was like overly butch. Well, okay, not overly butch, but I mean, it was like, okay, if she's not gay, I'd be really, really surprised. Not just because she was, well, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong on that. Okay, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to that because I don't like that universe. And like I said in the other video, it just felt like it was so coding. It was just coding, and I just didn't like it. It felt obligatory. It was like, okay, we need to have some LGBTQ representation. Check. That's how it felt. And I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. I was like, whatever. But okay. So then we get to Six of Crows, and it's like, oh, and by the way, whoever narrated Jesper, so good. So good. And then just hearing him flirt with Wylan, I'm like, ooh. I'm like, oh, is he gay? Is he bi? I don't know. I mean, because is he going to share that with the girls too? I don't know. Pretty sure he's bi. I think it sounded like maybe he might be, but then again, it's like, yeah, a bunch of street rats, and the only people who sound like they might have had sex is Inej, and she was forced, so that doesn't even count as having sex. Like, I'm not so sure. You got your hormones raging, and okay, I don't know. I never heard a lot talked about Jesper's like actual sexual acts. Not that I'm wanting to know, but I mean, you certainly got. Oh, that's the backstories being interwoven. How unpainful. How, God, fuck. The writing of both books was so ridiculous. And by the time you get to Crooked Kingdom, it's just like, this is how people should write. This is how it should be done. So good. Anyways, okay, so, but yeah, so the whole Jasper and Wylan thing. So like, he's like flirting, and then he's like, must be nice with the ladies. And you're like, yes, Froggy jumped. He finally, like, he took his shot. I love it. And then Wylan comes back with, oh, just the girls, you know. I'm like, ah! And it's not the gay thing, okay? It's not the gay thing that does it for me. It is that's how the romance, like, it was just such a realistic, situation. You got to see it from like the beginnings. When you jump in with Matthias and Nina, like, they already have a history, and then you got to like piece together that backstory to hear what was going on to get to that point, right? And then with Inej and Kaz, same thing. But like, you get to hear Jasper and Wylan like pretty much like from the jump. Like, they only met a few days prior to when this is happening.
So I just love it. Okay, I just love it because you get to see it right from the very beginning, and it's like you just watching it and you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, yes, yes. When you see two people that are just like so good to be with each other, like they're just perfect. They're so perfect. And Wyland's story arc, like I can't really say enough about everything. I just loved it. Kuei being gay was just kind of like, okay, I mean, I guess he's gay, that's fine. It was cute, it was adorable. I thought he was like just a little shit, you know. I mean, I just really see Kuei as just being like this adorable little shit, little troublemaker. I don't think he could have been like not gay, simply just because the way his whole character was. But like with Wyland and uh, Jesper, it was like, I mean, are they? Could they be? Oh, I think Wyland was kind of showing pretty early on, but I mean, you know, he still could have been whatever. Anyways, it was just perfect. That's all I want to say. It was just perfect. So then we get to Crooked Kingdom, right? Okay, so the only thing I hated, I didn't even talk about Pekka Rollins on the other one. It's okay, whatever. The only thing I hated about the audio version for Crooked Kingdom is when you get Wyland's point of view. And I know, and it's just like, it's all in the comments that, like, what the hell? The dude that voices Wyland, his impersonation of Kez is just so cringy and diabolically like, oh, like, oh, I'm really evil. So comical that it was a little hard to listen to at first, but I was like, okay, you know, I'll just get over it. Anyways, so in Cricket Kingdom, by the time I got to chapter 19, I was like, I don't want to go any further. I don't, because you've got, you know, Wyland and Kaz just got caught by Pekka Rollins. You've got Nina and Inej with the silos, and like, who the fuck is up there with Inej? Like, what the hell just happened? Like, what? And of course, I'm thinking it's like the shoe winged creatures, right? And I was thinking, oh my god. And then you also have Matthias and Jesper and Kuei in the tomb, and they're surrounded, and I'm just like, no. And then I'm looking and I'm like, damn, I still got half a book to go, because I'm like, I'm on chapter 19 and it's like 40 some odd pages. I'm like, oh my gosh. I know. Okay, obviously they're gonna have to get through this, right? Now, because I had seen the thumbnail for Cindy's Crooked Kingdom thing, and I saw that she was like heartbroken. She was like, you know, my emotional breakdown or something like that. I'm like, oh, this is gonna hurt. Like, something bad is gonna happen. I was like, okay, all right. Now, I found it really interesting, the whole correlation between Mixon, the guy that they tailored to make him look like Matthias in Hellgate, that he ended up getting killed. I found it kind of like a little bit foreshadowing that Matthias was going to die, but I don't know. When he did die, I did cry. I cried when he died. But maybe not so much for him dying, but for Nina. Like, I felt for Nina. She was so heartbroken. And I mean, and I've been there on that side of having to comfort somebody who just lost somebody that they are madly in love with. Been there a few times. But I wasn't surprised. What I was surprised with was that it was really only Matthias and his body double. Hi, editing me. I also wanted to say real quick that I didn't say this in what I recorded, but I wanted to say this other point, that I'm so glad they didn't bring Matthias back, okay? Like, I cannot stress that enough. If they had brought him back, the whole thing would have just been shit. Okay, I just had to say that. I'm glad they didn't pull the whole resurrection Mal thing, and that he actually was allowed to stay dead. I liked it very much so. That died. Again, that could be because I've got like 20 years on these characters. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe. Because that was also another thing that I had said to my husband when I listened to the first one. I was like, okay, so, you know, you got a bunch of like teenagers. I think like Matthias is like the oldest. I think he's like maybe close to 20, like 18, 19, 20, somewhere around there. But everybody else is like below him. And these little fuckers just broke in, like I said, Fort Knox in Siberia, surrounded by a moat, protected by like magical powers, right? I said, and they just literally just done. Cool. I said, okay, but you know what? I didn't grow up on the streets. I mean, I grew up poor, but I didn't grow up on the streets. I was homeless as an adult, but I did not grow up on the streets. So I did have situations as a kid where I did grow up really fast. Hence why I said I identify with Kaz a lot, with the whole having to be one step ahead and having to outwit somebody, because there were survival skills that I had to learn. But again, I did not grow up on the streets. I was not a thief. You know, I didn't have to steal to get my next meal. Yeah. So I didn't break any laws. Yeah. Okay. So okay, you know what? Maybe. I mean, I guess if you grew up on the streets and you know, you've been living the life of a thief and planning and just doing all these kinds of shit, like, yeah, you probably gonna know a thing or two, and maybe you could pull this off, you know, because you got to be crafty, and, you know, and like they said in Crooked Kingdom, you know, you got to hit where the mark isn't looking. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, fine. But for me, the fact that only Matthias died was like, you know, y'all went through a lot of shit. A lot of shit. And to have you all make it out, I mean, like, okay, I get it. Let's do a happy ever after. This is fine. And I understand it's YA, but for me, I was just like, like, not even secondary characters were killed off. Like, only characters with, like, no names died. But nobody big, nobody important besides Matthias. And like I said, as far as secondary characters, only his body double. So for me, that was just like, okay. But I tell you, when I did cry, being somebody who was like estranged from her parents when I was younger, when Kaz has an edge on the docks and he has just shown her the Wraith, the boat. Like, okay, that's so sweet. I love that whole storyline. That's beautiful. I'm so happy they didn't forcibly get together. I'm so happy that the author was not like, you know what, somehow we gonna make this work. I mean, because there was a lot of plotting and intricate weaving that Leigh Bardugo has done in this series, and I'm just really pleased that she didn't try to come about it an extra step to like make that work. Like, okay, so Nina and Matthias didn't get to be together because Matthias died, and Jesper and Wyland, they do get to be together, but let's go ahead and make up for the whole Matthias and Nina thing and put Inej and Kaz together. Let's just do it. I'm so happy that wasn't forced and done. I'm so happy that it's kind of like up in the air, because they are two way beyond fucking damaged people that, you know, as much as you think, oh, maybe that would be good for them, no, maybe it wouldn't. And maybe what they need in their lives is not to have a relationship and to have that kind of liability. There are some people who are better off being single. Like, I'm perfectly cool with that. Like, I'm happy to see them go about their business, being friends, you know, loving each other on that level, and possibly neither one of them ever having a love interest, like a real love interest, a real connection. I'm totally fine with that, because for me, that's realistic. Okay, if they would have got together, it wouldn't have made sense. It'd been like, okay, what you doing? Why is okay, whatever. Obviously, you're doing that just for some fan service, but okay. So, but then what made me cry was not that he gave her the boat. It was when she saw her parents. I fucking started just bawling. I'm in the kitchen listening to it like 1:30 this morning. Woke up because I was hungry, and I went and I'm in the kitchen. I'm eating a couple of pieces of fucking cheese and sandwich meat, and I'm just like, crying my eyes out. Yeah, that's what happened. That was beautiful. I can't say enough. I really can't. The way he destroyed Per Haskell, the way he destroyed Pekka Rollins, and the way he took down Van Eck. Yeah, I mean, I was all for it when it came to the whole sugar thing. I was like, fuck, yeah, that's a great deal. Perfect. But then everything went to hell, and they came back, like, and they even, like, all this extra setup that he had done, all these little seeds that he had planted. I love it. I love it. So yeah, like I said before, when it comes out, I will probably gladly watch it. I'm still not sold on the whole the whole Mal and Alina thing, but oh, by the way, so my husband, he's been listening to it kind of with me. Like, he'll just play his video game, and like, he likes to turn the TV on and just have like that background noise. And I was like, well, how about instead of the TV and me putting my earphones in because they hurt, I said, can I just listen to my book, right? So he's been listening to it with me. And when Sturmhond arrived, I was like, what? I was like, hold on a second, pause. Like, that's Nikolai. He's like, cool, who's Nikolai? Anyways, I just loved seeing characters that I did like from the other story set. I loved seeing them make an appearance. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. I think it was very well done. I think it was a huge masterpiece. Beautiful writing, beautiful weaving and putting together. Again, no complaints with the duology, but yeah, I'm not changing my mind about the whole the whole Mal and Alina thing. I'm not changing my mind on that. But I think this definitely brought a new element to it, to where I'm like, yeah, now I actually do want to watch it. Now I can understand all the hype, because that was damn good. If I was younger, growing up in the season of when this was written, when it was coming out, and I was the target audience, I don't know if it would have done anything different for me. I mean, it still moved me emotionally. But again, I'm not changed because of it. But again, I know I'm not the target audience. So anyways, that's my feelings about it. I'm almost done with these, and they look like shit. But like I said, the bitches are coming off, and yeah, at least I don't have to worry about wearing any green tomorrow, right? Not like I'm going anywhere. So that was it. Thanks for joining me. Bye.